Hi, hello, welcome back. It's me, Devaraj, and we're back with some more bioenergetics. I think we're at number 60 in the series, so it's like, wow, we've come quite a long way. And just to let anyone who's interested know, I'm still writing my book on bioenergetics, and that hopefully will be out next year. And I'll also be, at some point next year, making this into more, this channel, introducing like a way so that it's more like something where you can work your way through it. A course basically. And I know a lot of you, who follow the channel, it's a bit confusing what with so many different exercises and workouts, like where do I start? So I will be picking that stuff up. But anyway, we're at number 60, and today we're going to look at essentially the belly and the thorax, the throat. And these are two very important centers, particularly when you think about the male side of the psyche, because if you want to, whether you're male or female, if you want to really develop a male side, it's not about your thought patterns. They don't really matter. What it's about is, have you got awareness down in your belly? Can you breathe down to your belly? And is your throat open? Because the experience actually is that there's a kind of channel almost between the thorax and the belly. I call it the alpha channel, after the alpha male kind of concept. And if you want to be more alpha, if you want to really get that kind of vitality going in your being, you need this connection. You need the throat and the belly open and the connection there. And then the experience is like, hey, I have the fucking right to be myself and to live my truth. So if you want that, here's some exercises we can do to start, a little workout of 4 exercises, but we can do to start to get that channel open. Before we get there, I want to say a couple of things. One is that these exercises could be considered, certainly the first 2, quite intense, and use them responsibly. If they're a bit much for you, it's okay. Say, hey, this is a bit much for me right now, and don't push it so far that you end up, feeling freaked out afterwards or whatever. Work at a steady pace. You don't achieve much in working with the body by charging at it and then kind of giving up. What's a much better approach is to have graduated steps. That generally works a lot better, and to recognize when something's a bit much for you right now. That's the mark of maturity, and you can start to model that in how you approach these exercises. What was the second thing I was going to say? I'm saying about taking it easy, and yeah, I mean, it relates also that the taking it easy. I think what I was going to say is also, I do notice a few people out on YouTube saying, bioenergetics is dangerous or whatever, and they did this exercise and they had this experience. No one mentioned my channel that I'm aware of, but I want to be able to put out exercises openly on YouTube, and so I need you to be a bit responsible about it. Basically, I need you to be a bit responsible and not to overdo it and then sit around kind of blaming me because I've given out an exercise. Next thing I know, I've got bloody YouTube on my back and I can't put exercises out anymore. That doesn't really work for anybody, to be honest. So do be responsible with it. Okay, let's get to the meat of it with the alpha channel. First exercise is working very much with the throat and opening the thorax and this area of the back up. And you're going to need a sofa or a bioenergetic stool or a railing where it's kind of got, you can put a cushion over it and it's fairly comfortable. And what you're going to do is basically lean backwards over it. But what's quite important, first of all, is that you make sure that the ridge is just below your shoulder blades. You can usually feel it, and then just try to surrender your upper body over the top. And then open your mouth wide and you'll notice what I'm doing is I'm keeping my mouth wide open and I'm stretching and breathing through the mouth. This is important. Keep your mouth as wide open as you can. You can imagine you're like a teenager eating your first triple hamburger or veggie burger if you're so into veggie stuff. And you've got to keep your mouth as wide open as you can. At some point, it'll probably become very intense, this wide open mouth. But if you stay with it, you'll suddenly notice something's starting to clear. Something is starting to clear. There'll be a feeling of energy movement or relaxation around the jaw or the back of the neck, around here, these 2 thick muscles that come up to the head. So do that. The second exercise, when you come out of this, let's go back and show you. when you're in this posture, you know, you should do this to a ding track. 1 minute is a good start. So come out, bring your arms back, rest your elbows on the edge, and come down and squat for a moment. And then the second posture you go straight into, it's a chair pose, but you breathe into your belly and you growl a bit. Try to get some energy moving in your belly, some vibration. So it's like, putting the body under a bit of stress, the psyche under a bit of stress, and we're growling down into the gut, you know, down into this raw energy center to try and stay centered with it. In this posture, they call it the chair usually. There's another name for it, but the chair is what I always use. The upper part of your leg should ideally be horizontal, you know, so they're parallel to the floor. That's usually quite intense, but to start with, we're just going to be doing this for a minute. Okay, so you do your minute and then you push out from the wall. The third posture you should know by now, if you've been following this channel, it's called the bow. You'll notice what we're doing here is we're bending the back one way and then the other. You know, so I'm leaning back, I'm going that, and then I'm coming back like this. So we're working the lower back. Now you can just do a standard bow as I teach it, and as I learned it as well, which is with your arms right up and back, your pelvis forwards, and your chest sticking out, but your head stays upright. Notice my head is still upright. The rest of my body is forming a bow shape, but my head is still upright. Or if you really want to go for it, you can also use the mouth wide open in this posture as well. So so you do that for one ding as well. And then the final posture to round it off, again, we're going to compress into the belly. So we're opening and compressing. We hang forwards into the arch pose. And you can just stay in the standard arch pose, or if you want, you can breathe into the belly as well, quite deep into the belly while you're doing it. Remember, when you're doing the arch pose, your tailbone is pulling up, so your legs are nearly straight but not quite straight. There's a little flex in the knees. You check that your shoulders and neck are loose by jiggling your head, jiggling your arms, and you take your weight a little bit forwards. Those are the three elements of the posture, and then you breathe through the mouth and feel your body. Okay, and you go one ding on those. So just so it's really clear, you cycle through these four postures, you go one ding on each, and go 3 times around. So I would recommend starting with a 1 minute ding, you know, which means you'll have to move quite quick between the postures, and you can work that up to like a 3 minute ding, maybe even a 4 minute. Be careful with 4 minutes that you're not overstressing your back in this exercise, basically. Remember, when you do this, lean back with your mouth open. You need to get the spine of the sofa just underneath your shoulder blades, just here, you can feel them. If you put it too far down like this, it's okay, it's not gonna do any harm. Well, the thing is, you're putting much more stress on your lower back, and that's okay if you're used to it, but if you're not used to it, you can also pull your lower back. And for this particular exercise, opening the thorax, you don't really need to go so far down low. You don't really need to go so far down low. So keep it just below the shoulder blades. Okay, let's just go around these exercises one more time in case I've missed something. Just briefly cycle through them. Number 1, 1 ding here. Number 2, you come out into a squat. You can squat here if you want, but you really need a wall. So ass down low, upper legs horizontal. Try to get a bit of vibration going in the belly. 3, that's one doing again. Number 3, we're leaning back into the bow. If we want, we can have the mouth wide open again. And number 4, leaning to arch. Breathing deep into the belly through the mouth. Okay, so that's the sequence of 4. Start with 1 minute, round 3 times, and then give yourself a little break to sit down or lie down and relax. Okay guys, feel free to like, subscribe, and also, leave me any comments about your experience. I'm always interested to read that stuff. Thanks very much for tuning in, and I will speak to you soon.